Okay, we're going with this audio. How about that? Are we ready? Give me some feedback on that. Checking in. Yeah, sorry about that. I had the audio um, on my webcam enabled earlier, and that was problematic. Okay, and this is fascinating because I'm getting the audio delayed from my headset back into my head. This is raw. This is sausage making, guys. So okay, so sausage making, guys. So okay, all right. I'm gonna do that. Okay, all right. So reverberation rules. So I worked out so we shouldn't get any reverb back from my speakers or from my microphone. So we should be doing okay. Yeah. Okay. So, as I said, this is my first time that I'm doing a live stream intentionally. Well, the one I had on the evening. So, welcome all. You can hear me, and I should have a video of the Glowforge screen with some nice proof grade maple in it, and you can see the outline cut out of the matchbox that I posted on the forum. That's Marion McCarowitz once again, and I have a pre-release Glowforge, and I know you all have some maybe questions, demonstrations. I don't know what you might want. Uh, nothing in the personal messages, so I'm just gonna open it up for um, I'm going to open it up for whatever you type in that stream comments and go. Still got a little double audio there? Okay, I'll work on that. Hold on here. Let's take off the desktop audio. Okay, I'll work on it. Okay, how's that? Uh, Give me a little bit of that out. I took off the webcam mic. So that should do it. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for your patience and understanding. And okay, good so far. Fixed. All right, thanks. So I'm using OBS Studio. It's really quite handy, but you can't let your cat walk on the keyboard because he'll start a stream unknowingly, and you broadcast for 4 hours. So I dodged a bullet on that one. So Cole's curled up in the chair right next to me, and I got a fired up Glowforge, and I'm ready to go. So first, I'm going to open up to the user interface, and in the interface, I have this is it from the login screen at app Glowforge login screen. Type in your name, your password. It opens up to the design catalog right now, and here's some designs I have. And I'll go to the last page, which has the uh, that has the what shall I say, the catalog items here. So we have a pendant, and right now they don't have any information about the designs until you open them up. And then we have a luggage tag. some key change. Looks like they got some acetyl or Delrin in there. I didn't get any ProofGrade Delrin or acetyl in there. That's something I'd like to get. Got the blank Catan tiles here, or hexagon coasters. Couple squeeze clamps. I need to make a couple of those that are just perfect for the uh, clamping the layers of a LED sign. That would be very helpful to make a jig on that. But big clothespins and binder clips works. Here's a 12-piece puzzle. It's pretty small to start out with. The cable ties, it's about a 2-inch leather that I used. Pretty light leather. We're gonna cut some leather tonight. Burn some protein and demo. I just got a whole bunch of leather that I want to work on, and then the living hinge frame. So that's what we have on the catalog, and then of course the ruler and the plaque, which y'all saw. Okay, I'm not seeing the GUI. I see the forge. All right. Okay. I lost my. Here we go. There we go. Thank you. So here we go. We're back here. I need to pull up the video on the. I need to get my live stream on my iPad so I can keep it going. And I can see the comments because I lost the comments and missed that. So thank you guys for your patience. This is like totally thrown into the mix here, unprepared, but that's all right. We're doing it. Okay, and here we are. So now I can follow along with the comments, I believe. I hope. Come on. It works well, but it's complicated. Anyway, so I'm going to have to flip back and forth until I figure out how to. Okay. I can't. Got it. I feel bad you went through all that. Thanks. Oh, you. All right. Not seeing. Oh, thanks. Thanks for your feedback here. What I want to figure out is how to get my YouTube chat log on my iPad and look, follow the comments there, but I am not. Okay, there it is. There it is. There it is. Come on, let's see the comments, folks. Okay. Okay. And thank you. Okay, back to the interface. So here's the interface there. And okay. And we have 11 people watching. That's cool. So bear with me while I find a device that has the comments going. Oh. Oh well. Okay. So now you can see a little bit on that. All right. I'm just going to go ahead and not worry about the comments for a while until they start appearing in my stream here. That's just frustrating, I'm sure. So I'll go back to the interface, and here we have the 10 items. The ruler. I'm going to show you the ruler and watch how it opens up on the interface. And there it is. You can move it around like this, and you can, so it's already registered this ProofGrade maple in the bed, and here are the operations that you can do to it. So we have a cut, and the cut is just a standard default cut for the ruler. For this, in this case, it's going to be the maple. And if I go in there, it shows you what the powers are. 80% power, 20 inches per minute. So that already gives you a good baseline for your own materials to go from the Glowforge. And I did that when I worked on some of my own 2 ounce and then 4 ounce, 4.5 ounce, 5 almost. Some pretty good leather that I worked on cutting, and it took me a few turns in the machine to get it to cut all the way through. Quite different from the 2 ounce leather that the cable ties were made from. And go back to regular cut, and then here's the engraving setting, and you have a dark engrave, which gives a pretty good depth on it, good char. The medium engraving is pretty nice. It's light. I like that on the maple. It doesn't quite take away the whole surface finish, and the lightest engrave is just barely there on that. You can zoom in, and you can do some pretty amazing. There's probably the biggest debate among many things other than the delivery is how close can you get to positioning the material on stuff. And I know if you got a whole bunch of things you're trying to print, I did that with some squares. It was a pretty big challenge, but if you're just going to print one thing and need to come back to it and add something on there, I'm putting in this little piece of leather that I cut earlier this evening, and I was trying to figure out how the right amount to cut it all the way through. So I did what I did: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different rings on that, and on this, and they were fairly well centered here. So bring them up a little closer here. So I got those able to center pretty well on that. Visually, not bad at all. And micrometer, but all in all, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good fit. So you zoom out and you can move the surface area. If you try to put the interface somewhere, your design has elements outside, you get a red flag. And has the little cool little, like on the subway platforms, don't stand on these areas. So and you can see how close I get when I'm gonna engrave something or cut something. I try to use all the material. Couldn't get the whole width of this material, so if I were to bring this ruler over here, you'll see it coming up. So that's a pretty good chunk of material right now. This is pre-release. It doesn't have the full extent of the bed available for cutting, but so I was able to get this full sheet pretty good, and I'll trim those off, and I'll be able to make position things on that material and use it efficiently fairly well. So I could do something here. I don't know. That's enough to put something in. Problem is with only one QR code and not a QR code on the back side, and I printed over one. It's like, So I got some pieces I'm going to cut in and drop in, and I'll keep this QR code ready. I haven't printed my own to see if that works, but it does notice that if you don't have the right surface material on this masking, so if I put an unmasked leather or something on there, and I'll throw that in there later, it'll show you what comes up, unrecognized material, even though it's leather. It's a piece of leather in with some proof grade leather. It says there's something funky in there, so you might want to do manual settings here. So zoom in, I'll go in all the way. Pretty good zoom level. Looks like it's even, that's a bigger zoom level than I remember. So you can put this, I'd say if I go within a 16th, I feel pretty secure. Sometimes I've just butt it right there and cut it, and it's hit it right on the money. So for one-off things, positioning your designs on top of stuff, it really does pretty good for me. Once again, not a professional. Your needs may be somewhat different from mine. So I'm gonna go back to the comment stream, and oh, there it is. God bless us. I found the live chat. Okay. Yeah, thank you. You can pop out the comments to it. So here it says live chat. So I'm looking for comments, and it says live chat. So now we got it. Nudging is supposed to be included. Does it nudge? Yes. Here we go. I'm nudging with the arrow key. Let's see. With control, nothing. With shift. Oh yeah, with shift, it doubles the distance. So here's the nudging with the right arrow, and then shift right arrow, little more, shift up without the shift on, and then alt, nothing. Ooh, it changes. Okay. So yeah, I appreciate asking that question. So there's the nudging, and I'll do that again. So we're going to go right in there, and I'd be fine printing this, and it would get this whole, it would leave that. It would leave that littlest bit. So the control arrow is nothing, but it's the shift arrow. Shift arrow doubles the amount of movement. So let's go up by there. So what do we got? We got just shift arrows about a 30-second done, right? Yeah. 16th. 2, 3, 4. Yeah. And then so a 30-second is the arrow, and a shift arrow is a 16th. Yes. So how does that works? So that's nice. So once again, to reiterate, a shift gives you a 16th nudge, and a arrow by itself is a 30-second nudge from just eyeballing it in relationship to the grids up there. Okay. So just I'm gonna zoom out, and we'll start at the top ruler. the title bar. One thing I've done is to go back to the designs. I keep hitting the backspace. That's not what you want to do. At that zoom, it gives you a different zoom. Hey, great point. So let's go back out all the way and see what it does. It disappears. Come on, buddy. I'm gonna go put that back in because I lost the design. Scale is in inches. So back to the ruler. We'll get the original. And at the normal zoom level, at the all the way zoomed out, what happens is it gets stuck all the way up in this corner. I'm going to Control Z, undo, and it is not let me do anything. It is gone. There's something funky going on at that zoom level. Let's bring it back in. And how about... Okay, this is normal, default. Let's rescan in the bed. Default. Oh, here's something nice. I'll keep that on here. When you, this is a new, for me, new. It lost. You'll see momentarily all the design stuff, and we'll look at that again, all the different proof grade materials that are added. So we'll look at that another time. I just refreshed the bed. So here's the default zoom level. I'm going to nudge it. Let's go up. Whoa. Control Z. Whoa. Okay. So I'm going to go up here. You can see. So this is normal zoom. And if I left 4, so 16th, and then shift, so then it's a 4th with shift. That's a good point. So shift nudge. So that's a good point there, Rick. That at this zoom level, you have a 1/4 of an inch at with the shift. And let's go back up. Let's go back one more. And if I'm at this zoom level, it disappears every time I push it. So there's something funny going on here. And I'm not able to get this design. So at the all the way zoom out level, if you press the nudge shift without the shift, it disappears. So I've done that several times, and then I have to go back and get the design. So yes, at different levels of zoom, you get a different nudge factor. Yeah, don't do that. Okay. So if I go in all the way, I'm going to go in all the way at 400 and 500 zoom level, and we'll line up the 1 on the 10, and we got a woohoo 132nd. Woo! Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So that's pretty fine nudging. And then doubles it on there. So depending upon the zoom level, you can nudge more precisely. I haven't done that. I just kind of roll it around. If you zoom in after it throws it off the page, will it let you nudge it back on? Might be a scaling area. I'll try it one more time and see if I press the left arrow, will it? So I'm going to do the left arrow, right arrow, it should disappear. It disappears, left arrow, nothing. It's just stuck up here in the edge, so there's some kind of bug, and I'm not able to get it. I'm not able to get that thing back. It just disappears. Okay, so that's some nudging. Let's see. Go back to that ruler. That's a nice gauge. So, anything else on this interface here? You have some zoom in and then nudge now. Bummer. Okay. So if you go all the way zoom level, it gives you a pretty fine nudge factor as you go up to 500. Okay. 1/8 maple plywood. We have the refresh bed. Here's the ready print right here when it's doing its homing routine, which we've got all worked out now. It's doing well. It shows the status there. It says working, and here's your different operations. So I'm going to let's see. I don't know. What any suggestions here of what I can do to demonstrate back on the interface? Otherwise, I got some things that I'd like to demonstrate and just kind of show you how it is. Can you turn the cut into an engrave? Okay, yeah, let's just go through those different operations again. So I'll go back to let me get my Ginkgo file. That has quite a few operations in it that are very distinct. So I have a cut. If you hit the cut lines illuminate. If you get the operation, by the way, it defaults to cut when you go back in, so I can't save this each time. At least the engrave saved this time. So I want to actually score this, and I'm going to convert to score, and we're going to do a dark score. No, that's the cut. Yeah, that's the cut I want to do. I take that back. I want to cut that. This I want to score around the engraving area, and here is the engraving. And I want that a medium engrave. And so cut, score, engrave. We can change that into a ignore, a manual cut, and it gives you what it would be for the default for this hardwood, or the the maple plywood. And I can convert it to an engrave in the 3 different shades. And I can do a manual engrave. So the engrave has faster power than you can go in cutting. That's interesting because at least you go 335. Anyway, a deep engraving. Okay, so here's Rick. Here is the manual engrave setting. So sometimes it's on 1. The percent is 1 for scoring. The power's 1 with a 197 speed for the scoring generally. So here we have power on 5, speed 335 inches per minute. You know, I can barely see that. It's like the interface, and a lot of things now just have such light contrast. I don't know if that's from my window something, but it's just so light so you can hardly see the percent, and you can hardly see this inches per minute here. That's clear. Number of passes. You can go all the way up to fullest engraving. And just for the heck of it, let's put it on the fullest engraving. And 1 pass. And let's calculate what that would be at that highest engraving material. Give you a sense of boom, 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 boom. Okay, we're back in there. Okay. So, scanning the material, preparing the design. So it scans the material 1 more time. Make sure you haven't faked it out, swapped it. Preparing the design, and any second now it's calculating what the operations are and how much time it's going to be. So that is a longer time than I'm used to. I don't think I've had the heaviest, the most fine resolution on engraving. I don't believe I've tried that before. So it is taking an unusual amount of time for me. Maybe I did something that we didn't want to do. Okay. 5 hours, 58 minutes, and 43 seconds. How'd you like that? Rick, you I got it. We don't want to do that. A gazillion lines per inch. Yeah, so let's take that back. It's at we'll go back down to 340. And let's recalculate that now. The So while I'm preparing this, once again, this is a longer time preparing the design. This is a custom engraving setting, so there might be something wonky here on this. I've not, yeah, okay, 1 hour and 46 minutes on that. that's a little too long, and I got a large size, but I don't want to do that. Uh, that's a dark engrave. So let's just go back to engrave by color, the medium engrave, and I'm going to go print one more time, see how that calculates. Yeah, the 3D, it's wonderful and it's going to be cool and all, and I know that's the holy grail and all, but that's just beyond my thinking right now. I said my brain's been shifting a lot as I've tried to get into 3D design, and it does make a big difference thinking that way and then learning the tools for that. So, yeah, these are all pretty long print times, unusual, but I got it at a pretty big um, uh, piece to do. So I'll cancel that up. Anyway, yeah, so one of these days I'll start thinking about the 3D stuff, but right now just getting these 2D designs in and getting the tabs figured out and the kerf measurements figured out. That was challenge enough for me. So I'll demonstrate the you can just grab an operation and throw it up to the next level. So engrave, and we want to cut. Yeah, this is the one I want to cut. Yes. No, that's the engrave one. That's the score. That's the score. This is the engrave. And this is the... Oh, I had two engraves in there. No wonder there was a problem. That's what I want to cut. Yeah, I need to cut those out there. Anyway, this isn't the fullest design. I've since redone this design. So anyway, you can move these orders up and have at it. I'm going to put in a little test piece here I came up with. So this test piece I put in, it's circle, diameter circle, 1.25 inches or 1.5 inches square. Let's see, what is it? Yeah, 1.25 inches square and 1 inch circle. And I got all kinds of things. I got cut lines. This was to do different engraving. So say I want to cut the whole thing out. I want to score this dark, and then I want to score this one or light, and then I want to score this one dark, and then I want to score this one. I want to manual score, and I want to do that maybe a little faster, a little darker, I don't know. So I have all these different operations, and they were different colors that I could do. So I can engrave that one here, and then I can engrave this one there, and then I can engrave this one there. Although it won't give you all much since it's just a little line. So anyway, that was a piece I set up, and that helped me. And so I'll show you. This is the
2-ounce leather that I got. And notice, oh, yeah, let's, this is the 2-ounce leather, and the dark score on that is pretty heavy duty. Even the light score on the 2-ounce leather is a little too much. You can see the back. So the light score almost went all the way through. The cut, of course, cut. And the dark score went over it twice, and you can see the incipits, the beginning and the ends of the cuts. So that was a twice score. It does look nice. Very, very fine line, but just a little too deep for this 2-ounce leather. That's, let's see, it's 0.052 inches. So it's pretty thin there. So that's one of the little test pieces I've had, and that gave me a sense of what to do on the leather. Okay. Julie, how they've been fitting the kerf? Oh, you know, my first attempt at the box, I cut a. They just fit fine. Um, you have to think about it and add some here and subtract some there, but it's unbelievable just how thin the kerf is to begin with, and I think so. I do a 0.007, so 7/100ths of an inch. Yeah, 7/100ths of an inch. So what I did was I cut a bunch of 1-inch blocks, and I took the calipers and I just measured them. In the 1-inch blocks, I'll show you this. The 1-inch blocks became 0.988 inches. So 988 thousandths of an inch after cutting. So subtract that from 1,000, divide it by 2, and you get the half the kerf you have to make an adjustment with. So I wanted to post all that and all, but it's like I got to get a life here. It's fun, but once I figure it out, I move on to the next thing. Here, I'll do something for you. All right, let's do some target practice here. Okay, we'll put it over here. All right. Okay, I have just put a little I put a little circle in the bed of the Glowforge. And see that little circle? Okay. And I'm going to throw that in there, and I'm going to ignore the cut. I'm just going to ignore this square, and then I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and then we're gonna do some target practice. We'll see how well this fits on there.
we'll leave that edge. So this is a inch and what is that? An inch and a half, I think. Inch 0.6. Yeah, that's the cutout. That's the cutout of the escutcheon button. Hey, is that I love my escutcheon button. I can I those are that's going to be cool. We'll have an escutcheon button of the month club going on. Okay, I got this thing dialed in. I'm just gonna go ahead and ignore. Well, let's just score them all. Let's convert them all to score. We'll do dark score. We'll do a dark score, and we'll do a dark score here. And I guess that's all I have. Score, score, score. And then this is a light score. And let's do so if I try to type 200 in there, it defaults to 197 on this. So we'll just do that. Okay. And I'm going to press print, and it'll be about a 12-second print job probably. I tried to get my new GoPro to be able to stream to my computer. I just didn't have enough time to get it set up. I had a telephone call, good friend of mine, and um, so it'd be nice to be able to have the webcam and then the GoPro for a little closer shot, but we'll do a close up of the head as it's printing. One of the things you might want to do is get a little finger pointer like they have in the cartoons. That so like here's a ruler here, and I'm reaching over and I'm gonna press the button with the ruler. So I need a little longer button presser. And the cooldown goes pretty fast. I could switch the audio on for that. That would have been interesting. When I do it later, I'll take my mic audio off and put the audio on for the webcam, and you can get a sense of how the thing. So let's go see what it looks like here. And I was off a little bit. So that's the light score. And then here's the dark score. And we'll do the other side. I'll do a cut. We'll shoot for it again and just do the whole circle. So there's the dark score. Light score, very, very light. And the light score. So I was a little off center. That's okay. I didn't put it close. I'll put it closer to the middle and let it try to do a little bit easier to have it closer. So recent proof grade material. Well, we'll see that. So we'll
put that baby back on there. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. And we're going to change that to a cut. We're going to cut that. And let's just ignore everything else. And I'm going to put, I'll show you, I'll put a graphic on that. So ignore, ignore, Hey, just while I'm doing this, I just want to say, uh, oh, escutcheon. Oh, I'll show you the escutcheon there. The forum's been really great. I've really enjoyed myself in the last year and a bit, year and 4 months. So we'll do that cut, and now I'm going to import a graphic for that. So, what is that? Okay, well, I'll show you the escutcheon later there, Gorjo. Let's zoom in. Hey, kitty. Right there. And everything else is ignored. So right here, we're going to add, you cannot add a vector to an existing cut. You have to start with your complete vector design imported from the opening screen. So on the user interface workspace, I've been calling this the workspace, you can do your raster images. So let's say I want to put a, let's just do this ginkgo leaf. Oh, we could engrave that. Yeah, I had something else there. The acorn. It's always interesting. Ooh, fishbird. What's that? Ooh, that's interesting. That's cool. Initials. We'll put my initials on there for an engraving. And it's out of the usable area. Well, that's because it got thrown way up over here. So we'll bring that down and put it where it belongs, right there. Put my initials on there. Zoom back in. And let's medium engrave. I like that the best on that maple. Okay, zoom back in. And let's center that pretty good. Yeah. Okay. Move that over just a little bit. This is where the nudging. Nudging. Then this is up. Yeah. Okay. All right. Image still on bed. Oh, thank you for. All right. Yeah. Okay. So here we go. Thank you for Rick for doing that. So anyway, here's the you'll get there 5 4. What is this? How many seconds delay is it? Okay, get out of the way. Yeah, it's probably good to have an engineer working with you on this video thing, but it's all right. So here I have zoomed in 500%. I've placed it. I'm going to cut and we'll see how well the center of that cut is. And I didn't see, well, it's medium engrave. I didn't change the DPI. I think it defaults on that to 340 or 334 or something like that. Now, you notice on the here on the it doesn't look like it's centered on there, you know, when it redoes this, you know, it always looks off. Most of the time it's in better shape. So minute 56, so we're gonna do the print, and so it's doing the engraving first. How exciting. Wow, an hour has gone by already. So minute and 56 is this print's gonna take. So what other questions on the interface? By the way, while you're printing, this is stuck up there and it disappears, so you can go back to here and I guess go back to the design or something. But if you hit the print, the dialog pops. Okay, I'll go back to the screen. Okay, hold on. Okay. So this is the print screen's on, and if you click out of it, you go back to the workspace. But if you click this print button here, it comes back up. The dialog comes back up. Okay, there's the circle. Okay. It's a little off. A little off. A little off. A little off. Yeah. Not, you know, there's still some work. There's still some work to be done on the calibration, but it's enough to be able to not waste material. We can see off a little. What's interesting is the backside. How you might not be able to see that too well, but it didn't do it. It was kind of wonky. So how it was focused, see, part way through, part way not. So just not quite all the way through on that cut. That's interesting. Anyway. Let's see. Okay, back. Back to the user interface. And I think I've pretty well demonstrated everything. Okay. Question about the user interface. It looks like you have several horizontal lines in the design. In the list on the left, the horizontal lines all look the same. Let's say you want to change the middle one from a score to a cut. So you click the middle line in the beta image to help you find the entry on the left. Great question. So right there. No, it's the other way around. You click on this and it highlights. So you click on the left menu item, so see the square lights up, and then the circle's going to light up a little more. So square, circle, first line, second line, third line. Oops. That should be a third line. Second line. No. There. Fourth line. Fifth line. So you do the entry at the left to locate those lines. Because what you're doing is you're selecting the whole design here, because this is the design I brought in. So that's one design. That's another design. Some of my, let's try that on a different file. Go back to let's do this one. So this one is an interesting design. I was working on scoring, engraving, and then cutting, and I only had two different colors in actually one color and then the black for the engraving. So when I imported it in the program, it allowed me either to cut or engrave. And notice I can only select the whole design because that's what I imported in. So if I do this one, this has it lined up, so that actually has a circle cut, a scoring, so I'd want this to score to give it a little bit of relief and edge, and then the engrave, a medium engrave. And that turned out to be a pretty cool design. I worked on that in leather, and I thought that was nice. Let's see if I can find that piece. I cut some chipboard, the cat food container box, and the chipboard cuts beautifully. It just no score, no char or anything. It's amazing. So to be able to cut just quick stencils, say if you're doing some printing, that's pretty amazing. Okay, Dennis Ward, if you rescale an object in the UI making it smaller, will it warn you if it's too small for the current settings? I've never tried that. Let's see how Let's see what happens. I think it'll just kind of work on it and just burn it all up. So it's given me a real so it's gonna try something. Oh, 43 seconds for that little guy. I'm not gonna print it. We'll go back up. I got a piece of leather. I want to do this in leather. I'm gonna show you. This is non-proof grade. This is my own. It's about a 4.5 ounce leather. I think I've got the settings figured out, but if not, it doesn't matter because I have. I got this from Breton's Village. Last year, I got a sample and they sent me a sample, and he's got lots of scraps. So this is I got some pretty cool leather here, so I'm gonna put the bed in and show you the leather here. And I put some masking tape on it. And oh, here's this was scoring that cardboard. Just just so nice and precise. Very, very light. Um, so here's a piece of leather. One of the things, the proof grade all lay flat. That MDF just slightly, but by the time I had it going, this was fairly so. Figuring out how to store all your leather correctly so it's flat is kind of important. So I'm putting that back in, and it will show up on the user interface that this is a uncertified material, manual settings only. And this will be an opportunity for you to see a little bit of what's forecast in the proof grade materials. Colored acrylic, 1/4, 1/8, ash hardwood, 1/8, 1/8, basswood hardwood, black acrylic, cherry hardwood, cherry plywood. Ooh, that'd be nice. Cherry veneer, chipboard, different clear acrylics, a 1/50th. Whoa. Chipboard. Okay, clear acrylic, frosted acrylic, 5 ounce leather, 2 to 3 ounce leather, maple hardwood. And I have a maple hardwood and no, just maple walnut hardwood. I have some maple veneer and walnut veneer that I want to work on around Christmas. And yeah, the cardboard. I want to cut just plain old cardboard, packing cardboard. Proto board. Popular hardwood. Poplar. Red oak hardwood. Standard MDF. Walnut hardwood. Walnut plywood. The walnut hardwood is just absolutely, the ruler's just so nice. The finish on them. Oops. And some white acrylic. So walnut veneer. So there's your opportunity to look at a little bit of the proof grades recent proof grade materials. It doesn't even have the acetyl or Delrin in it, or a couple other things that we've talked about. So uncertified material, okay. And notice it's like the mouse, it's like, so there's something, I need to put that in there. Eventually you click over here and you can say what it is. So that is a piece of, it's a piece of 0.097 0.0975 thickness in inches. I'm going to position it on here. And this is going to be a long print. Now I'm going to take the webcam and get it closer to that. So I want to cut out a circle, and I know I need to do a manual cut, and I need to get the power up, and if I recall here, that was 50. I could go around it twice, or I could go slower with higher power. I think this is what I did. I thought I wrote it down. Never did get that notebook. One pass, I could do it in 2 passes, but that's okay. I want to score this. So this is going to be a manual score, and we're going to do this at, I think, yeah. We're going to do this at 10% power and about 197. We'll see what happens. Doesn't matter. And then we're going to engrave this, and we're going to do a 1% power. Yeah, engrave, and then we'll do a, let's 195. That's all right. That'll be a very light engraving on this leather here. So anyway, yeah, the cardboard. I don't know about the cardboard, but the chipboard like packaging that comes, the cat food boxes, that stuff is just so good. No char looking. Amazing. Okay. Whoops. Okay. Cut last, score engrave first would be a general rule. So um, we'll go and score, we'll go engrave, we'll do score, and we'll do cut. Okay. Yeah, one of the things about with the leather is I had a piece that was a little wonky on the edges, so when I cut it first, it lay flat. The piece that I was working on, and whether that made a difference or not, it didn't make any difference in accuracy, but it laid flatter for the engraving. So um, I'm surprised that in some of the designs that the cutting is first. So we good to go. I'm gonna move this over here a little bit. Oh, don't want to waste material. I got that. I got that. And we'll see if I cut all the way through. It doesn't matter. It's pretty heavy duty leather. And I'm going to press print. You're still getting my audio, aren't you? Give me some feedback on that. I accidentally knocked my. Yeah, my mic's still going. Okay. Um, and so we're gonna go to the bed. All right. 12 minutes and 13 seconds. And that'll be the last, an opportunity to answer any questions while that's printing, and I'll move the webcam for a closer shot of the process itself. Sorry for the. I should have pre-positioned this before. Okay. Okay, sound good. Yeah, three cameras. So, although I don't need one on myself, which is all right. One on the close-up on the head, and then one for the whole bed, and then the screenshot. But this open OBS studio is pretty amazing. Get done what I need to do, and scene change, and then I'm doing Movie Maker for Windows, the free thing that I have in there. So I'm going to switch the audio to the webcam audio so you can get a hearing of the fan a little closer up, and I'm going to mute my mic for a little bit, and scene change, and then I'm doing Movie Maker for Windows, the free thing that I have in there. So I'm going to switch the audio to the webcam audio so you can get a hearing of the fan a little closer up, and I'm going to mute my mic for a little bit, and scene change, and then I'm doing Movie Maker for Windows, the free thing that I have in there. So I'm going to switch the audio to the webcam audio so you can get a hearing of the fan a little closer up, and I'm going to mute my mic for a little bit, Okay, I'm back with my headset mic. So that's to be figured out eventually. So, um, uh, oh, no wonder. That was. Okay, I see what you did. I did. Okay, never mind. Um, Here, just a second. So yeah, you can hear it a little bit. It's just a nice wine. Uh, it's I keep my headphones on sometimes just to mark it out. So anyway, you can see right now the engraving coming on. It's nice. The masking, I do need to source some masking that doesn't pull off the finish of the leather. Um, and so that would be good. I know there's some products that Stephanie was talking about, so some particular masking for that because I do want to have some leather. I like that. Jeans, that's something I want to work on Saturday, maybe Christmas Day. I'm just gonna me and the Glowforge for Christmas Day. So and the cat. Cool. So back to the interface. So 6 minutes and 13 seconds. Um, and you can do a faint whiff of the smoke, but there's a good clip of air moving out the exhaust. But man, if you miss it, you miss it. Okay. Um, yeah. So while we're waiting here for this to finish, any other questions or comments on that? I could use a little bit of video work because notice it's not a full letterbox on that webcam. I gotta change some of there's some things that YouTube is gonna help me with. So I'll get that figured out. But I'm enjoying this, and this Glowforge is an amazing thing. The support's been good. Rita's been very good. Haven't needed it. I mean, once I get the design right and put it in there, it prints. Other than those few connection problems and the homing problem, it's pretty amazing. Yeah, leather smells awful. Yeah, the first time I forgot to plug in the bent hose to the outside was also the first time I cut leather. So that's why I printed the escutcheon. I have never printed long enough to make it cool down. So the longest print I had was that plaque that really printed a deep engrave for the living hinge photo thing. And that was a 22-minute engrave. And it never paused or what. So, yeah, doing a long engrave or something, we'll see what I run into. But I haven't had that problem. Most of it's I get a design and I mess with the design, and then I work on a different design and I mess with it and print it. So the printing goes fairly fast. It's getting my own designs right now, and I guess once I get that just a few tweaks on the Matchbox thing, I'll be able to put some. I'm going to do some production on that. I need a few of those. I'm probably going to use all the rest of my maple proof grade for that. Um, I am also going to start engraving some bamboo cutting boards I have. So that's going to be um, um, interesting. Have I ever paused for a long job to cool down? Have you ever paused for a long design? Never had to pause yet. So we are 2 minutes and 23 seconds, and then after that, I'll pull it out, take the masking off, and then we can close off and you know, oh, kitty. I printed out some of those Romark ornaments, and so what I'd like to do is have an ornament party. People can write on the ornament, the piece of paper, just like they did at Maker Faire, and then do their own personalized ornaments. That might be fun. I have some more LED signs I want to make. Oh, okay. And coming up on a minute and 26 seconds, 24. Yeah, I'll go over, and when it starts the circling, to hear the Glowforge when it cuts. Okay, now it's going to be it's scoring around the engrave. So that's, man, that is just so precise. Just getting a little bit deeper around there, and it's putting some shakes to this thing. It really. Oh, yeah, it went off a little bit. The material shifted just a little bit, ever so slightly, from this jamming around. That's interesting. That's the first time that happened. So these scores are going to be off just a little bit. Yeah, the material's shifting a little, just ever so slightly. Yeah. So, having something to hold down the material, because it was throwing the bed around a little bit on that. That's the first time that happened. It was some pretty herky-jerky motion. So the scoring at the top of that, and then it went into had some long jerks. So definitely need to get the material down. Ooh, that's all right. So get that last. Yeah, so it shifted the design in the middle of the cut. So that was the first opportunity that I had to do that. Could do a little bit better on the. It's almost through, but not quite. Not quite through. So a little bit slower, a little bit more power on that. That's all right. One of the things I noticed about leather is to be able to brush the char off pretty good before you weed it. So anyway, I'll put this back up here. And drop that there. And then we'll do the closeout. Okay. If you catch it shifting early, are there any steps to pause and correct it, or are you just out of luck? Yeah, I think if the material shifts during the print, it's going so fast, it's already messed it up. Say this is the first time I've had material shift, and I noticed that design was throwing the print head around pretty much, and that's a function of my cart. I still need to fix the wheels down or prop them up so it's not on the wheels. And I also have an anti-fatigue mat. I just need to have someone help me lift up the Glowforge to put the mat under. That would help take out some of the shaking. And the cart's sturdy enough, but the wheels make it a little bit unsteady. And just sliding around on the bed. So it's pretty slick material and it's a small piece. So anyway, magnets, yes. I need my neodymium magnets, as Ave says, and they're somewhere in this room. So last chance for questions, comments, and otherwise, I'm going to sign off for this evening. And I will be posting some things, but nothing in detail. I'm just going to enjoy this in the next few days. So hopefully Eves can come up with some cool stuff. I don't know if he got his today. He was supposed to get it today, maybe. Maybe tomorrow. That's going to be quite the present. So um, anyway, I appreciate you sticking with me. The helps and hints and helping me figure this out and get some of that technical stuff out. And there's always room for improvement, and I appreciate it. And once again, I'll see you on the forum. Take care. Night.